Hi guys, it is now 10:42 a.m. Still on Thursday, and I just completed my body doubling session. And I ended up doing a spontaneous, like off the top of my head, tapping before we started, and that was really cool because I felt a shift. That's what we're always looking for with any sort of healing or just trying to improve our lives, right? We're looking for that shift. And for the work portion, I went ahead and did like a brain dump of kind of what was on my mind. What is, you know, what am I struggling with in the first place type of thing. And then for the reward portion, I did my puzzle and I found that puppy tugging, and then it not only surrendered, but it got on board. And I thought of like the programming, I thought of a seesaw. So the programming, old behaviors, patterns, whatever you want to call it, but like the default, I pictured a seesaw, and on one side it's stacked with bricks, and that is the past, meaning what we've been always doing, right? Like it could be people pleasing, it could be using a substance, it could be neglecting yourself, whatever you do, whatever you were taught to do. So it's a seesaw and there's bricks. So, you know, that side is on the ground. And then the other side is where we want to be, like our ideal self, right? Our non-traumatized self, right? Like what we instinctively know that we actually deserve, we just maybe do not know how to get it. So the work I do day in and day out is to move the bricks from the programming to the ideal, the authentic, right? And I really like that visual because it it gives credence to the fact that it's hard work, right? Like it's hard to move a ton of bricks from one side to the other, like physically speaking. It takes time to genuinely and naturally do it. And I like that you can visualize that. Like the more bricks we take off of this side and the more we add to this side, we're going to start tipping the scales. We're going to start going in the direction we want to go in. And that's when we build like momentum and like habit. And you can see what's going to happen, right? Because then we've got gravity on our side. So that's what I'm doing every single time I post anything or say anything, because I was taught to not speak, So every single time, this is not automatic for me, but it's moving a brick from this to this. And, I'm also always working on awareness for myself. And it's like, should I have just rested today type of thing? Should I have pushed myself? And I thought, yes, because I wasn't pushing myself, I was guiding myself through it. Like, we deserve to feel safe. We deserve to take a shower. We deserve to do what we want to do. So the battle that goes on, you have to look at the source of that battle. And the bottom line is, if you want to do this action, you want to do it, it's good for you, and for some reason you're not doing it, that's where I think the battle comes in. Because we're going from the familiar to the unfamiliar. So I hope that's helpful. I feel like my eyes look kind of but that's okay, because I know that I'm just telling the truth, and I know that the programming was trying to get me to just kind of zone out because it was too painful. And I thought, actually, I'm bigger than that. And I already do what I need to do. Like, I already still do my responsibilities. So I deserve to relax, like I said. And so right now I'm fighting hard to learn to relax in the midst of everything. Because there's a lot of lies that we might have been told. But one of them is that you can stress yourself to a solution. If it is actually super urgent and you just need to make a decision, then do that. But check the facts first, because our brain, our mind, our programming will make us think that things are way more time sensitive and urgent and like panic, like now's the time to panic, than they actually are. You know, that's why I'm always like, okay, today is this day. This is what we're doing today. And I just also make this agreement with myself. If I ever, you know, like let's say I let out tears this morning and then when it was time to go downstairs, I couldn't, then that's a different story. But that's never ever happened, you know, when I actually, and in fact, one of the things that would make me faint is having the time, having the space, let's say, technically, but being like, well, I don't want to feel that, so I'm not going to feel that. Well, it catches up to you in some way, shape, or form, you know? It does. And especially if you're someone that doesn't lash out at other people, because a lot of people just do. They just do that. I don't want to do that, you know? But I'm also, like I said, working really hard on inner peace and inner calm, because I can project that. I know how to like stay really, really patient in all of those things. And I'm proud of that, because that takes energy and that takes discipline, that takes all that. But I was basically taking it all out of myself. And that's the part that's not okay, you know? So I post these so you can see how if you have a feeling and you let yourself feel that feeling, at least for a little bit, and if you're really present and like aware of what's going on, you will see the shift, you will feel the shift, and you will go from whatever your automatic, like on the seesaw, whether the default is to isolate, you know, stay in bed, you know, any number of things. But you go through that battle, you move that brick from down to up, which is where we want to be, you know, like kind of like from the darkness to the light. So I hope that's helpful. Okay. I have a meeting in, well, I guess it's half an hour. So I'm going to drink 20 more ounces of water. I've already done push-ups and crunches. I think I'm going to do 10 jumping jacks just so I stay on track with that. This summer, I'll get to do like an hour of workout. But right now, I'm just doing what I can. And that always ends up making me feel better. It's better to do something than nothing. Always remind yourself of that. It really is, and it adds up. So, and I've already figured out dinner for tonight. I did that during the brainstorming thing. And yeah, so I'm going to just, I guess, drink a bunch of water and get ready for the meeting. So, okay, love you guys.